Do you like to fish? Are you interested in helping our struggling salmon runs? Well, now you can get paid to do both. Environmental reporter Cale Williams went out to the Dalles to talk to some folks who are making big money fishing for predators.
There's money swimming in the Columbia.
$32.
If you can catch it. We caught up with some anglers in the Dalles who are fishing for northern pikeminnow, and they're getting paid to do it.
I go out at daylight every morning, come in at noon.
It's all part of a program called the Northern Pikeminnow Sport Reward Fishery, which aims to help salmon by getting rid of the pikeminnow. Josh Ashline from the Bonneville Power Administration explains.
The pikeminnow are just a native nuisance species here in the Columbia River. They've always been here, but they're an issue when it comes to the juvenile outmigration of the salmonids. They are voracious predators of them and will feast on them as they're coming downstream.
So 9 inches.
Anglers only get paid for fish over 9 inches long. Fish smaller than that aren't big enough to eat baby salmon. The program isn't looking to get rid of pikeminnow altogether, just to cut down on the bigger ones that feed on salmon and steelhead.
And so if we can crop down 10 to 20% of their population, we believe that that'll allow savings on juvenile salmonid of up to 40% of what it was before the program started.
That's Eric Winther, who's overseen the program for the Washington Department of Fish and Wildlife since it began in the early 90s. He explained how the pay structure works.
We have a pay system that incentivizes anglers to fish longer. So in other words, the more you catch, the more you get paid.
For the first 25 fish, anglers get $6 each. After 25, they take in $8 per fish. Once an angler has caught 200 pikeminnow, every fish after that brings in $10.
It doesn't matter whether it takes you a day, a week, a month to get to each level, it automatically kicks up. And so the folks that make good money on the pikeminnow program obviously get to the $10 level quicker than others.
The Bonneville Power Administration pays for the program to make up for some of the damage the dams have done to salmon on the Columbia River.
When the dams went in, we made the habitat for pikeminnow just a little bit better, which made their populations go up just a little bit. And then not only that, the pikeminnow also found that it was a lot easier to predate the juvenile salmon near the dams.
There are 20 different pikeminnow counting stations along the Columbia and Snake Rivers where anglers register, head out on the water, then come in to have their fish measured and tallied up.
That's a pikeminnow.
Early in the season, the Dalles is the place to be.
I mean, this is hot fishing here right now.
Of the roughly 25,000 pikeminnow caught this season, about half have come from just this station. But just how much are these anglers reeling in?
Last year was my best year. I had $13,640, I think.
Last year I brought home 15,000, right at, just slightly under.
And those are just the folks we talked to. Winther said the real top earners, they're bringing home serious money.
Our top angler last year made just a little over $69,000 in 5 months. The highest reward ever paid out was, I believe, it was either 2016 or 2017, $119,000 in our normal pikeminnow season.
But before you quit your job and head to the river, Winther had some words of caution.
But to do that, he's essentially living in his boat for 5 months. So not everybody can do that.
The top anglers, which he called highliners, are sometimes bringing in more than 100 fish a day.
They have modern boats, modern electronics, high-quality fishing rods and tackle. Doesn't mean you can't catch them with a bobber and worm, but these guys are pretty serious about it.
17.
The average person, closer to 7 or 8 fish per day. John Crompton, who's caught as many as 50 in a day, said there's no real secret to it.
It's just finding them.
Yeah.
It takes years to find them. You gotta, that's the trouble out here. After you find the spot, then pretty soon you got 10 people following you around.
All right.
Jiminy crickets.
Stephen Bennett, who made the trip to the Dalles from Longview and brought in 15 fish, was even willing to divulge what kind of bait he uses. Mormon crickets that he catches himself.
I got a little butterfly net and use my bucket.
But like a true fisherman, he prefers to keep some of his tricks in the tackle box.
Where do you get those?
That I don't want to.
Okay, no, it's okay.
For Bennett, though, it's not about the best spots or the secret places he goes to gather bait.
I'm getting paid to go fishing, doing something I really love, and my parents have always loved fishing the salmon and steelhead, so this does help.
Cale joins me now. How interesting. Okay, so they're catching lots of these. What do they do with them?
Well, you know, unfortunately, a lot of them get thrown away. Some of them go into fertilizer. But what's interesting is that, you know, there are a lot of people out there catching, you know, their $6, their $8, their $10 fish. But there are special ones that have these tags on them that they use to keep track of the population. And those are worth either $200 or $500, depending on what kind of tag you get.
Wow. And the secret to catching them is?
Well, I mean, it just sounds like experience and, you know, having good fishing supplies.
Yeah. That means the fishermen are not going to tell you what the secret is when they say good supplies, right?
I mean, I asked, but
yeah,
you know, they're fishermen.
Right. And there's some people that are doing quite well, and there's others that are barely getting any.
Yeah, I mean, it sounds like most people go out there pretty early in the morning. They come in around noon to have their fish tallied up. And when we were there, you know, we saw one guy and we said, "Hey, how'd you do?" He said, "Not that great." And he had a bucket full of 40 fish. We saw another guy, you know, he seemed pretty happy with his catch, and he just had one fish in each hand. So, you know, it kind of runs the gamut.
Yeah, there's a parable in there somewhere.
Somewhere.
All right, thanks, Cale. Appreciate it.
My pleasure.